asymptote. Okay. So mag-review ta sa atong gihimo nga klase ganiha para ni sa mga late ug katong absent ganiha. So ang atong topic ay is about okay, asymptote. Asymptote. So there are for now duha sa lang atong i-discuss nga asymptote, ang vertical ug ang horizontal. Si naaday na siya ikatulo ang slant asymptote, but for now ang ato lang i-discuss ang vertical asymptote and horizontal asymptote. Okay, after asymptote ang ato pong i-discuss ganiha kay intercepts. Okay, so in intercept natay x-intercept and the y-intercept. So mo na itong i-discuss ganiha, then nag-try po ta og nusaon pag-graph after nato na-discuss ng mga butanga. Okay, so let's start with an example, then ato ilailahon na yun. So let's have this example. X minus 1 all over x squared minus x minus 6. So this is f of x equal x minus 1 all over x squared minus x minus 6. Muna to example kaniya. So muna ito i-try. So ito sa ipakilid ni. So ang atong hisgutan ron o ang atong i-try is unsaon pagpangita sa vertical asymptotes, unsaon pagpangita sa horizontal asymptotes, and unsaon pod pagpangita sa x-intercept, sa y-intercept, ug unsaon pag-graph. Okay? So ato lang ni dalion. For asymptote, let's start with vertical asymptote. For vertical asymptote, ato lang i-consider or ato lang timan-an or ato i-focus ang ato ang denominator in which x squared minus x minus 6, and we let that one to be equal to 0. So like on finding the domain of the function, we need to make our the objective there is to make our denominator to become 0. So if we found ug unsa tong mga x or x's ang 0, so mao to dili part sa solution set. For vertical asymptotes, same ra og process, we will equal it into 0. Then after that, kini siya, since the first term is naka-squared, meaning there are two possible values for x. So that's why we try to factor it out and we equal it into 0. So the factor of x squared is of course x and x. And in order for it to become negative 6, unya ang tunga is negative x. So therefore, ang ato ang factor is negative 3 and negative 2. I mean positive 2. Okay? So kung imo ni ato na i-multiply ang padulngan ani kini. Okay. So therefore, ang atong vertical asymptote is x minus 3 is equal to 0 and x plus 2 is equal to 0. So it should be x positive 3 and x negative 2. Okay? So our x's is 3 and negative 2, and that would be our asymptotes. Okay? So our vertical asymptotes are 3 and negative 2. Okay? Erase na to. If you have any question, pwede rin na ito ikuan. Okay, ato sa i-share ni siya sa kuan ha. Kadit lang. Kadit lang ha. Share na to sa group. Let's. Okay, so next is to find the horizontal asymptotes. To find the horizontal asymptotes, we need to consider three things. So there are three conditions in finding the horizontal asymptotes. First, let's consider this. Una, ato sa i-consider. So an over bm, in which n and m are both exponents. So the first condition for the horizontal asymptotes, if n is lesser than m, so meaning the numerator of the exponent of the numerator is lesser than the exponent of denominator, then our horizontal asymptotes is 0. Now that's the first condition. The second condition is that if n is equal to m, then kung ang n ug ang m na exponent sa duha is equal, therefore we need to consider the variable and their numerical coefficient if they have. So a and b ato nang i-consider. Then we need to divide kung pila. So let's consider this problem first. Kung a, and then let's just say, okay, let's just say 2x over 3x. Pag ingana ang problem, of course, our horizontal asymptote is 2/3. Okay? So therefore, we conclude that if the n and m are equal, then we just focus on the variable and its numerical coefficient para mahibawan nato ang yung horizontal asymptotes. In this problem, ato pang i-continue. So first condition, second condition, and the third one, if n is greater than m, if the exponent of the numerator is greater than the exponent of denominator, then there is none, or there is no horizontal asymptotes. So none HA, or there is no horizontal asymptotes. So in this particular problem, if we can, if you can see, it's f of x equal to x minus 1 all over x squared minus x minus 6. So if we can notice that one has power 1 and the denominator, the first term, has power 2. So therefore, the m is bigger, or the n is least or lesser compared to the denominator exponent. So therefore, we can conclude on this particular example that our HA is 0. So HA is 0. Okay? So it is not to. Okay, next, we're done with the vertical asymptotes, we're done with the horizontal asymptotes. So next objective is to find the x-intercept. Okay, x-intercept. So we find the x-intercept. Okay, so in finding the x-intercept, we let y, or f of x, equal to 0. So since we are trying to answer a function, so we use fx. So fx is also called as y. Okay, so let f of x is equal to 0, so therefore it would be f of x 0 equal to x minus 1 all over x squared minus x minus 6. So ang atong buhaton ani, in order for us to simplify this one and to find the x-intercept is to cancel the denominator first para maka-proceed ta. So in order for us to cancel this out, we multiply both sides by these equation para ma-cancel out na to. So we multiply this and the other side by x squared minus x minus 6. Okay, so x squared minus x minus 6. So these we multiply to 0, of course it becomes 0, and this is cancel. So it will become x minus 1. So therefore, if we try to add both sides by positive 1 in order for us to cancel it out, so it will become 1 is equal to x, or x is equal to 1. So therefore, our x-intercept is 1. Okay, so next is the y-intercept. Y-intercept is the next. Okay, for y-intercept, we let x is equal to 0. Then use the original formula. So it would become f of 0 equal to 0 minus 1 all over 0 squared minus 0 minus 6. So it would become negative 1, 0, 0, negative 6. So it would become positive 1 over 6. Okay? So the y-intercept is equal to 1 over 6. So we done with the vertical asymptotes. We got 3 and negative 2. For the horizontal asymptote, we got 0. The x-intercept is 1, and the y-intercept is 1 over 6. Then we do graphing. Okay, let's do graphing. Para ma-check na to kung saan pag-graph. Okay, so ako sang suwat to na ito ang Cartesian plane. Okay, so let's start with the vertical asymptotes. It's 3 and negative 2. So let's consider this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So therefore, this is our first vertical asymptotes. Let me make it straight first. Pabahalag di perfect straight. Okay. So that would be our vertical asymptotes, or first vertical asymptotes is the in 3. So the next vertical asymptote is negative 2. So negative 2, this would be negative 1 and negative 2. Okay. So I'm going to put the negative 2 first. Okay, so mao na siya ang second nga vertical asymptotes kay naman tay duha. So pasensya na niyo di guys straight. Okay? So meaning if we try to give a description for the vertical asymptotes or for the asymptote is that ang iyang pasabot is magkaduol-duol pero di gyud magdikit. Moduol lang gyud maayo nga na pero di gyud siya ma-equal or modikit ana. Kay yeah, because these asymptotes are not part of the solution sets, like finding the domain of the functions, di ba? So kana di gyud mahitabo nga modikit sila ana. But for horizontal asymptotes, there's an exemption. Okay? Naay exemption si horizontal asymptotes. Pero ato sa i-check na, ato sa i-graph. Ato lang balikan nga nung nakaingon ko na exemption. And horizontal asymptote is 0. So therefore, kung naalang ko ipuwa nga pen, maklaro na to nga. Mo ni si kanang akong gibaga. Mo na si horizontal asymptotes na siya sa 0. Okay? I hope nga akong palapasan para nailanan. Okay? So muna si horizontal asymptotes. Muna ang pag-graph. So ingana na ang purma sa itong Cartesian plane. Now let's go to x-intercept. So if y is 0, so si x is 1. So therefore, anhi. Okay? Mona siya. So this would be 1 and 0 for the x-intercept. And for the y-intercept, it's if the x is 0, then the y is 1 over 6. So therefore, atong butangan. So assuming na 1, 1 ay 1. So 1 over 6, a sort of diri dapita. Okay? So 0 ang x, then the y is 1 over 6. Okay, so 0, then 1 over 6. Maklaro na ba? Okay, assuming okay, 0 and 1 over 6. Okay, muna ito ang y-intercept. Okay, so since na-plot na nato na nakahibaw na ta ingani ato ang vertical asymptotes mo ni atong horizontal asymptotes, then mo ni atong x-intercept atong y-intercept, then enough na ba na para maka-create a graph? Of course, dili pa. So what we need to do is to find solution sets. Katong gitawag na to ka ng table of values. So we try to create this one. Okay, na yon x then y. So para maka-kuan ta, maka-make sure ta na mabuo na to ang graph or makompleto na to ang graph. Sa outside, sa vertical asymptotes dito sa tuo, magbuhat tag 2 points. Then sa inside, dere sa sulod, another 2 points at least. At least 2 points para makaibaw lang taon sa forma sa itong graph. And sa left side sa gawas, 2 points sad. So therefore, since this is 1, 2, and 3, dili pwede sa 3, sa 4 ta, o sa 5. So this is positive 5 and positive 4. So therefore, testingan na to answer si 5 and si 4. Pwede ra gina og ganahan ka trip nimo dumagan 6, 7, 8. Why problema na. Basta akong point anhi is that at least 2 para makaibaw taon sa forma asa mo curve padong, di ba? Okay, now for the inner part na humana man ta sa 1, sa 2 na lang wala. And humana po ta sa 0, ari ta sa negative 1. Sa inner part ni silang duha. Then sa kining gawa sa left, negative 1, negative 2. So this would be negative 3 and this would be negative 4. So negative 3 and negative 4. After that, anda mo na to atong calcio. Mag-anda po kong calculator sa ako ang end array para ma-solve na to siya. Okay? So let me check my calculator. Okay. So we use the original equation x minus 1 all over x squared minus x minus 6. Okay? Mora na. Then i-substitute. So let's start here. It's 5 minus 1 all over 5 squared is 25 minus 5 minus 6. So it will become 4 over, it's 20, it's negative 11, it's negative, it's a 20, then negative 40, positive 14. So 4 divided by 14. 4 divided by 14, 0.2857. 0.2857. So therefore, 5 dira, so saka na ibabaw ani. Ibabaw sa horizontal asymptotes. Dayon ato i-try ni si 4. Okay, so ato ra gyapon ilisan, same procedure. So it will become 4, it will become 16, it will become 4. So this will become 3. 16 minus 10 is 6, so 3 over 6. It's 1 half, 0.5. So 0.5, so pasaka. Okay? So kung ato i-plot kung si 5, kung si x is 5, therefore si y is dari dapita. Okay? So if x is 4 din tunga-tunga sa 1, so let's just say kini tunga-tunga ni assuming. Okay? So therefore we can conclude if we try to connect these points atong graph is padong saka. And of course, na may asymptotes di gyud na siya modikit. Mo nang importante maghimo da ng asymptotes. Tapad lang pero ayaw lang ipadikit. As well as dire, di ba na may horizontal asymptotes dire. So straight lang na dito, tapad lang, ayaw lang, dili lang modikit. Okay? Kung ato na isumpay dito taas wag na, so di na nahuman. Okay? So next is 2. For 2, ito ilisan, it's 2, then 2 squared is 4, then 2. Okay, so it will become like 1, cancel, it's negative 6, so negative 1 over 6, 1 over 6, negative, so it's 0.1662 na itong answer. Okay. Negative 0.167. So therefore, if the x is 2, then the y would be negative 0.167. So therefore, aray napita aray sa ubos sa horizontal asymptotes. Okay? So we can conclude now from here in the x-intercept padong sa 2, so ang atong graph nga ni paana yan, paubos ni siya. Okay, so nga na yung forma, pero wa pa na siya mahumana, so wa pa ta kay ba kung kini ni ang negative 1 kung pasaka ba ni or mubalik ba ni ubos. So let's try. So this would become negative 1, this would negative 1 squared is positive 1, this is negative 1, negative times negative 1, so it will become positive. Okay, okay, so this would become negative 2, and this would become 1 plus 1, it's 2, it's negative 1 is 1, negative 1 squared is 1, plus 1 minus 6, so 2, 6, it's 4, it's negative 4, so meaning it's negative 0.5 or negative 1/2. So it's negative 0.5, so therefore the tunga. Okay, so therefore dili day siya padung ubos, so padung siya saka. Okay, so nga na itong possible graph. Okay, so yeah, na may asymptote dapat dili mo dikit. And katong akong gingon ganiha nga naa ta exemption sa horizontal asymptotes, tanawa di kini nganong nidikit man, so mo na si exemption sa iyang intercept. Okay, nga mo dikit kay basinay makiglalis nganong nidikit man na asymptote, di ba dili pwede mo dikit. So mo na akong gingon ganiha nga na exemption because of how we try to find the intercept. Okay, but di gina mahitabo sa vertical asymptote, sa horizontal na. Now let's continue negative 3. So it will become negative 3, it's negative 3 squared is 9. Okay, negative 3, so it will become negative 4, 9 plus 3 minus 6, so it will become negative 4, 12 minus 6 is 6, so it's negative 4 over 6. 4 divided 6 is equal to 0.6667 and negative. So it's negative 0.667. Okay? So therefore, aras ubos. Kung kini si negative 1, so dool ni negative 1. Dire. Okay? Now for negative 4, ato inisan. Negative 4. It's negative 4. It's 4 squared is negative 4 squared is 16. This is 4. So it will become negative 5. This would be 16 plus 4. minus 6. So it will become negative 5. And then it will become 20 minus 6 is 14. So negative 5 over 14. So 5 divide 14. It's 0.357. So negative 0.357. So, ano siya? Dol-dol siya sa horizontal asymptote. So, therefore, we can conclude na from here to there is pasaka. Okay? So, nga na to ang graph. And from here to there is paubos. So, na may asymptote diha, dapat dilimitid. So, nga na atong porma sa itong graph. Okay? So, nga ni atong porma sa atong graph. Tanawa palihog. Okay. So, nakompleto na nga to ang objectives na tayo vertical asymptotes, na-solve na to horizontal asymptotes, x-intercept, y-intercept, and we do the graph. So, yan na ang forma sa itong graph. Thank you. Any questions, you can type it in the comment box or section. So, sunod na itong i-video diri is ang simplification sa katong kasagaran nga i-post sa Math Let Review and the Let Review Philippines, or para sa maunsa ning nga group gani akong gikuanan. Yeah, Let Review Online. So atong ibutang Let Review Online Philippines. Atong i-post katong kasagarang gilalisan kato pang napay nag-react og haha ay cry kay sayop daw ang mong gi-comment dayon. Siya rito sayop. Sila. Sige lang. Bye-bye. Mag-stream ako balik ako sa iandam.